Hey guys, want to chat about something? I want to chat about the question I've gotten a couple of times in the last few weeks. It comes up periodically anyways, and that is, do you always feel anxious around your ex? And I absolutely can relate to this because I used to think, or let me back up, I used to feel that way, and I used to always think that I would always feel that way. And it's one of those weird things. There's two parts about this that are complicated. The first one being that when you're doing no contact or you're just not spending time around your ex, you can feel like everything is under control and you have everything figured out. The sad reality of that is whenever you do end up around your ex, the emotional part of that might just creep up on you and take you for a little bit of a loop. That had been my experience for quite a while, where even when I thought that she would not affect me, that I would be around her, and then there would be issues. Now, granted, keep in mind I'm 6 years into this, if I'm doing my math correctly, so that's a significant amount of time. And I had an event on Friday for my daughter's tennis banquet that the date had been pushed around. And I wasn't necessarily looking forward to it because my idea of a good time is not spending 2 hours around my ex. But, I was like, whatever. I mean, if my daughter had asked, or if she didn't ask me to go, I wouldn't have gone. But she reminded me. It was after school, so yep, I went. And it was really actually kind of weird. There wasn't a lot of parents there. And my middle daughter, the one who the banquet was for, she sat with all her friends. And effectively, I sat with my ex for about 2 hours. Just her and I and my youngest daughter, which is 13. Now, okay, so the first part about this that I want to hit, which I mentioned at the start of this video, was, do you always feel anxious around your ex? And I can say, and I gave you that little caveat of, whenever you think you're going to be okay, and then you're around them, and they're still an issue. And I'm happy to report that I didn't feel anything like that. I mean, in the past, being around her would make my skin crawl. It would just be really irritating, even when I would fake it, and I could fake it okay sometimes, most of the times. This particular time, there wasn't anything there. I was thinking in my head to make sure that I didn't bring up any topics that would be controversial or problematic. So I was cognizant of that. There was one thing that I did say that I was a little worried that could be misconstrued, and that comment was something along the lines of, we're going to blink and the school year is going to be over. And after, as I said, and I mean, I meant it. I didn't mean that as a, your time is running out or anything like that, which that's what I was, after I said it, I was saying, well, it could be construed. What I mean is like the child support stuff. So other than that, I made sure that the conversation was superficial, nothing really of any, substance. I shied away from any topic that would be, that could be problematic. We talked about stupid stuff. We talked about Harry Potter movies, that new Harry Potter movie, and just whatever, just different things. Not a big deal. And here's the one thing I want to mention on this. First, let me wrap this part up, and then I'll get to the second part of this, which I think is really important, and I really want you guys to think about this one. But on this question of, will you always feel that anxious, annoyed feeling around your ex? I think, this is my opinion, the answer is no. You are going to get to a point where you've given so much of yourself, of your energy to your ex, that there's nothing left. And that's okay. And to be perfectly honest, I was pleasantly surprised even with myself that I was able to do that, and it was okay. Now, does that mean that I'm going to sit with everybody and have a big kumbaya during the high school graduation? I have no intention of doing that. I am going to go to the graduation. I will find a nice place to watch. I will talk to my daughter before and after. I'm already preparing for the fact that they are going to make plans. That's fine. And I will celebrate that moment with my daughter at a different time. The only caveat on that is if she specifically makes it an issue where she really wants me to be at whatever event that she does with her mom and my mom and all those people, then I'll address that at the time when it comes. But that, as it stands right now, that's not my intention. So you will not always feel that anxious feeling. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a long while. 6 years is a pretty long while. And I'm trying to remember if last year, I get my years messed up. I think my son graduated before last year, so I think we're on 2 years since he graduated. Maybe I could be wrong, but yeah, I mean, do I still feel anxious whenever I have to deal with her? Yeah. I mean, was I uptight before going to this event? Yeah, because you don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what they're going to bring up. You don't know whether they're going to try to push your buttons. I just tried to make sure that anything that came up, if anything would have come up, that I would have been able to deflect it and diffuse it. And fortunately, that wasn't the case. Okay, so now the thing I want to get to about the really important part about this, there were a few times, now granted my middle daughter, or my oldest girl, was with her friends, wasn't really hanging out with us, only came over a couple of times. So she was kind of disconnected with the whole thing other than that we were physically there, which is fine. My youngest daughter, on the other hand, sat with us pretty much the entire time. And over the course of the 2 hours, made a comment that it was really nice. So my thing on that is, if there is any way that you can do that, it does mean a lot to your kids. And what I will say on that is, in the beginning part of this, I really had a problem with all the damage that the ex was doing, the shenanigans that were happening behind the scenes, the smear campaign and all that stuff, and then being physically in her presence and having to look at that two-faced, in public, it's just, oh, hi, how are you type thing, where in the background, that you're being portrayed as a monster, you're being portrayed as evil. And in the early parts of this, it's really hard to wrap your head around the fake persona with what's actually happening. And, the flip side to it is it is a double bind, that whenever we are nervous and we do portray those anxious things around it, it really feeds into their narrative. It really feeds into, oh, it's so sad that he won't or she won't, just let it go or whatever. Now, for the most part, and you've heard me say this before, who gives a crap what they're saying and what they're doing? You have to do what's right for you. And if that situation is so volatile and difficult for you, then, you have to do what's right for you. And I had my struggles with that. I'm not saying that this was easy to get to this point. Remember, we're talking about 6 years down the road, and this is where I'm at today. So keep that in mind, right? But that's something I just wanted to mention. If you are able to do that, if you are able to do those interactions, it really does mean a lot for your kids. And it also dispels a lot of the BS parental alienation that they're trying to set up against you with the smear campaigns and whatnot. So that's something to think about. So I just wanted to throw this out here because that was what my Friday, I don't know when this video is going to drop, but my Friday of before this video, that's what I got to do. I got to spend 2 whole hours. I haven't seen my ex physically been in her presence in. Now, you guys could correct me because I know if it's been before, I've talked about it on video, but I think it's been a couple of years. So it's one of those things I try to avoid, and unless I absolutely have to do it, there's no reason to do it. But it actually, this particular time was okay. So, and I think in the last live stream, I think this is a question that had come up, or maybe it was even in a Discord discussion afterwards, where people were saying, when is this going to go away? I get it. I get that it feels like it never will. I was there. I completely understand. And I felt the same way. And so take that little nugget of truth that it does. It takes a long time. Part of it is whenever you finally don't care about what they've done to your life and what they've been. To be honest, this is even more interesting because I was just having a conversation with someone earlier today about some of the crap I'm dealing with as a result of this entire thing and how it's I wouldn't say negatively affected my life, but altered the direction of my long-term plan, like buying a house and being, or even ever, if I may never even be able to. And again, I don't know. And I didn't get angry about it. And in the past, those conversations would just get me infuriated. So, yeah, just wanted to share that with you. I hope that provides you a little bit of hope. And if you're struggling with this, and you want to continue that conversation, let's do that down in the comments below. I'd love to hear. Hopefully, I'd love to see some people who've had some successes with this so they can share them so other people can see that this isn't just an anomaly for me, and there is a strong possibility that you too are going to be able to achieve this. So on that, as always, you can check out the Mindset for Narcissistic Abuse Recovery down right over here, and YouTube will recommend a video specifically for you for your search stuff right up there. If you get a chance, you can subscribe. There's a little ball with my face in it. If you click on that, you can subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video. Take care. Bye.